All right, Shalom. We're the Hebrew Israelites. We come week in and week out, prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, right? Which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, and Rome, reincarnated. But before we get started, we'd just like to give all praises, glory, and honor to unto Yahawashi, and double honors to the apostles and elders who made Millstone that have taught us His truth. And Kwam Yashala. Alright, so Yahawashi and the angels, man, they're coming back as harbingers, man. People that are the angels, they're gonna deliver us, right? And once they deliver us, they're gonna get rid of all the leftovers, man, which is the 2/3, and some of you heathen nations, man. Right? So the Lord, He's gonna do a lot more destroying than He is gonna do saving.
Okay. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 14. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having his head a golden crown. On his head a golden crown.
That's right. So what does that cloud represent, right? That cloud, it's not talking about a physical cloud, like what Goku sits on, the flying Nimbus. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about a ship, a UFO, or what you call UFOs. So it's a chariot, and it said that He's going to be sitting on it with a crown. So He's coming back to establish His reign, okay? Because He's a king. And the scripture says that He's going to take all the crowns off the heathen kings' heads, right?
And it says, and in his hand a sharp sickle.
Okay, so what is a sickle used for? Right? It's a sickle. It's an agricultural tool. It's a farmer's tool, and that's what you do to gather the hay, the straw, to reap the field. So that it says a sickle for a reason, because He's coming back to reap His elect, the ones that are sincere. Keep going.
And it says, and another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe.
Okay, that's right, because what does it mean to reap, right? The harvest. Because the Lord, He's coming back to gather the cream of the crop. Right? There's a term. You get the best first fruits. Because the Lord is a king. He deserves the best. Right? And who are His best men? The elect, the 144,000. He ain't just coming for anybody. Okay? Because the Lord ain't going to waste all that time and resources to come here and get garbage. He's coming here to get the best. So everybody has to realize. Oh, he was holding it? Oh, he left. So, you had a precept?
Yeah. Anybody know the name of that chariot? Or you guys? They know the name. Do you know the name of that chariot? Okay, in English. One more. The name of that chariot. In English. Alright, Revelation 19 and 1. That chariot is called faithful. In the Hebrew, a term for chariot is Merkabah. Right? Merkabah, you can look it up. Okay, this is a faithful chariot. Right, that's a special chariot. Just giving it a name in English. And the term for chariot is Merkabah. Right? Right? Anyway, it says here real quick, Revelation 19 and 11, I saw heaven open up, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat on him was called faithful and true. Right? And in righteousness, he both judge and make war. So, for all these people are talking about judge, don't judge not because he's the Most High judge, because he's a righteous judge. They're right, he's the righteous judge. But his men, by his spirit, through his Rakakodash, judges. And the word judge there is just a simple word called dislike. Okay, dislike. No, excuse me, not dislike. Dislike is hate. Simple word there for the word judge is forming an opinion, but this is a righteous opinion, just like the scripture said. He judges in righteousness and he makes war, the righteous war, the battle of Armageddon that he set up, and also the war that he's going to bring on this place. Right? But anyway, the point was just to bring out faithful. Right? Yeah. The chariot is called faithful, but you never thought about that. Because he's faithful. Right? Anyway, that's the point.
Back in Revelation 14 and 16. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out.
So what does that mean? Now they got beamed up into those ships. That's why it was reaped. Okay, they got a tractor beam, boom, boom them up, just like what we see in Independence Day. It's crazy as that sounds. Okay.
And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe.
That's right, and you can see how the Lord, he switched it on and he switched it off. That killer instinct. First he did the saving, then he turned into a killer. Now, you notice I use the term killer, not murderer, because a kill is a righteous thing. A murder is an unjust kill. So the Lord's coming back as a killer, because you people that are living here, a majority of you are wicked, man, and you hate the Lord, you hate the law, statutes, commandments, and you defile his name. Okay, and it shows you also Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. Right? The Lord, he creates both good and evil. He creates both peace, okay, and he also creates death. I, the Lord, do all these things, just briefly paraphrasing. So you're seeing that happen, right? And that's a future prophecy.
Verse 19. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast into the great winepress of the wrath of Yahawashi.
And you notice the word winepress. You can go back to scriptures like Isaiah the 63rd chapter. The Lord squishing the grapes with his feet, right? That represents you people being popped up like grapes, man. That represents the blood coming upon this earth, right? The Lord's going to come back with a vengeance, for revenge.
Well, the sickle also represents destruction, right? Because Russia has a bomb, like an ICBM, and it's named the Sickle. Right? You can look it up. You Google Russian bomb named Sickle, and that's the most sized tool they use to cause destruction. So it's basically the spirit that was put on those scientists to call the bomb a sickle, man. Okay? Verse 20, and the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse's bridle, by the space of 1,600 furlongs.
So that's a lot of blood that you're going to see. The streets are going to be filled with blood. Okay, and a lot of you people, you don't like the sight of blood, but that's what's going to happen, especially you people on this side, because you haven't experienced pain, you haven't experienced bloodshed. You've experienced so-called good times, right? You can get up, go to the pizza store, right? You're not troubled. You have the cops, especially you women, you have the cops. Over there in the Middle East, like in Iran and Iraq, they don't have that luxury right now. All they have experienced is bloodshed and turmoil. So you're going to get a dose of that when the Lord comes back.
In Revelation 16 and 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sword upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers
He's reading, man.
and the fountains of waters, and they became blood.
Hey, bro, we have a class here, okay? Okay, we're a class here. We'll smoke over there. We don't smoke. Okay, we don't smoke here, man.
Verse 5. And I heard the angel of the water say, Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art and was and shall be, because thou hast judged thus. For they have shed the blood of the saints of the prophets, and thou hast given them blood